you know, like I used to hear guys, especially older guys, talking about something, and most guys have a period of their life they remember. And like, for example, maybe your father says, when I was in the Air Force, I remember my unit, 9 guys, and I was the 2 years, and that's kind of the way I remember the mothers. I probably had more fun at that time in my life than I ever had before. Of course, it's different. You know, you're at that age, you're able to do anything you want. Everything you do is acceptable, and you're just tickled with yourself, you know. And I think that was my time, and a little bit later too, but that particular period was because when I came in the band, you know, I was just able to do anything I ever wanted to do. And like, as I mentioned before, I came from a more you know, hired gun type world. You hire a guy to play a part. They said, just do what you want to do. I mean, I want you to do this, but otherwise do whatever you want to do. And I said, well, man, this is, you know, and I could just go to the end of my imagination, you know. So in that respect, it was, you know, really quite good. And I think, you know, Frank, I mentioned before, Frank wasn't the Beethoven of the 20th century. I would put him more like a Duke Ellington, you know, a very influential, very interesting composer, but not to the level of, say, Stravinsky or Bartok or I don't know, a lot of other guys. But he did a lot of stuff, and he did a lot of great stuff, and I think he was a very good composer. And I think that you know, his music is likely to be a part of the 20th century. I think in a century or two down the line, they'll look back and say, hey, remember that guy Zappa? And, you know, listen to this. He was the first guy to do that, and that kind of thing. So it was and it was nice to be a part of that. But you have to be careful, because I know a lot of guys, or I know some guys, that kind of live in the past. And you got to be careful. It was great, and sometimes I find myself thinking about it, but life is now. I mean, what's going on now is life, you know. As they say, it's always only in the now. So, and who knows what we're going to do tomorrow. But as far as this material, you know, it's great stuff, and I was really happy to be a part of it.